This episode is brought to you by Odd Moe's Pizza in Canby. Handmade awesome pizza plus craft beer, wine, and cider delivered. Order today at 503-263-8444 or visit them online at oddmoes.com.
This episode is also brought to you by Canby Foursquare Church. Since 1978, a place to grow, connect, and serve. Sunday services on campus and online at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Learn more at canbyfoursquare.com. Welcome to Now Hear This Canby,
Your source for news.
The threat of a possible teacher strike was avoided this week.
There's a new, irresistibly cute creature winning over fans, and its name is Scootaloo.
Sports.
It's like Lucy in the football. You want to kick a field goal, but they take it away from you.
We had to learn how to win.
Goal can't be in the last second of the game!
And interesting conversations.
Because I'm one of the strongest girls ever, and I know that for a fact.
I just really enjoy writing gossip as if I was a bear.
With an old maid daughter that make the best moonshine in the coast.
And if it would have hit me in the face, I think I would have died. I really do.
I guarantee you would have died, man. Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Now Hear This Canby podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm Tyler Clausen, and this is what's happening this week in our community. Christmas came a couple of weeks late for Ken and Lori Aragati, owners of the Backstop Bar and Grill, as the Canby Planning Commission on January 9th approved the plans for their long-awaited expansion that would add a brewery, tap room, and Italian restaurant with a second floor rooftop bar and dining terrace to their existing building. The two-story, 11,230 square foot extension will replace the existing one-story building that formerly housed the offices of the Canby Herald, which the Aragatis purchased from Pamplin Media Group in 2019 and have been leasing while they planned the brewery project and other aspects of the expansion. It has long been Ken Aragati's dream to bring the town's first brewery to downtown Canby, and now it appears the dream is finally coming true. The planned expansion, which will also include a basement, workspace, and arcade on the second floor, is designed to mimic and complement the look and feel of the Backstop's existing historic building. The new restaurant and bar will have its own entrance on North Grant Street with communicating doors on the interior to allow guests to move between the existing building and Backstop Brewing tap room. The brewery will take up the lion's share of the first floor of the new expansion, with the front third serving as a tap room. Aragati told commissioners that he has hired a brewer with more than 20 years of experience to lead the program, though he wasn't yet at liberty to share his name. The Italian restaurant and kitchen will be built into the second floor of the existing Backstop building, replacing the Antonia Ballroom event space. The new ristorante will be dubbed Aragati's, appropriate since he plans on using some of his own family recipes to build out the authentic Italian menu. My family is Italian. My grandmother was a phenomenal cook, Aragati told the Planning Commission, adding that they were also consulting with the family behind Silva's Italian Restaurant, a former live diner theater in Northeast Portland that currently houses the flagship outpost of Laurelwood Brewing Company. Reached this week, Aragati told the project is currently on hold due to the sharp increase in Small Business Administration loan rates caused by the Federal Reserve's interest rate hike in December. They plan to continue to lease the 2,780 square foot former Herald office building before the Backstop Brewery project can move forward, Aragati said. Built in 1912 for the Independent Order of Oddfellows in Canby, the calling card LOOF can still be seen on its exterior walls, doorknobs, and other places. The commercial-style building boasts a stucco finish, a large, imposing facade, and a striking rooftop parapet. It has been home to a number of businesses, including Canby Hardware and Implement Company and Rexall Drugs, before becoming the Backstop Bar and Grill. Its most recent renovation was in 2007. Nearly a half dozen stores, restaurants, and other businesses along Highway 99E and in downtown Canby were reportedly burglarized in a string of break-ins that occurred late Friday night or early Saturday morning, police confirmed. Captain Jose Gonzalez tells Now Hear This Canby that Canby police responded to a burglary call at Birch Street Animal Clinic shortly before 3 a.m. They were called to Vitamin Plaza in downtown Canby a couple of hours later, where the glass front door was shattered and the cash register was stolen. Gonzalez said police also received a burglary call from Camila's and El Kiosco Deli in the shopping center near Canby High School and Canby Square, and Thai Dish on North Ivy Street. Vitamin Plaza owner Stephanie Boyce said she was awakened by a phone call from police between 5 and 6 a.m. Saturday and arrived at her downtown store to find the front door smashed in. I'll be honest, I was angry, Boyce told us. And when I found out it was more than just me, I got even angrier. Because all these stores are small shops, all mom and pop. This is our community, and it's not okay. Boyce said the thieves broke her cash register to remove the drawer, which she estimated contained about $220 in cash. She said she has no clue as to who the perpetrator or perpetrators are, but believes neither she nor the other business owners were personally targeted. It did not feel at all personal, she said. It was an obvious smash and grab for cash. Boyce said she's already making arrangements for the repairs and will be making several changes to her store security to prevent future incidences. Anyone with information about this case is asked to please call the Canby Police Department non-emergency line at 503-655-8211. One person was critically injured in another serious crash on Clackamas Highway 224 near Eagle Creek Sunday, the third such incident on that stretch of highway in less than 3 weeks. Clackamas Fire District crews responded to the scene of the two-vehicle head-on crash just before 6 a.m. Sunday. Officials said one person had to be extracted from a vehicle and was transported by Life Flight air ambulance to the local hospital in critical condition. The latest incident comes just 9 days after another horrific crash resulting in critical injury between Barton and Eagle Creek on January 20th. It's also the third major crash since January 12th, when a Vancouver man was killed in a 3-vehicle collision at the same location near the Goose Creek Bridge. We would caution drivers to drive defensively and give yourself enough time to get to where you need to go so that you're not in a hurry, Clackamas Fire Public Information Officer Isaac Hamilton said. Representative Lori Chavez-DeRemer of Oregon's 5th District announced this week that she had joined the Conservative Climate Caucus, a group of Republican lawmakers who say they want to advance climate policies consistent with conservative values. There's only one planet Earth, and it's our responsibility to leave it better than we found it so our children and grandchildren can live happy, healthy lives, Chavez-DeRemer said in a press release. From mountains and valleys to forests and lakes, Oregon is home to beautiful scenic landscape, and you can't find it anywhere else. it's our duty to protect it. Addressing climate change should not be a partisan issue. I'm excited to work with my colleagues on climate-friendly policies that protect our environment without over-regulating or restricting energy production. She joins Cliff Bentz, Oregon's other, and before Chavez DeRemer's election in November 2022, only Republican congressional representative as the state's only member of the caucus. The Conservative Climate Caucus recognizes that climate change is real and that global industrialization has contributed to it. But its statements of principles also recognizes that private sector innovation and significant investments in research and development have helped propel the U.S. to be the global leader in reducing emissions. To that end, the caucus will work to ensure other countries, including China, are doing their part to reduce emissions. The group believes practical solutions to climate change can be found through innovation embraced by the free market, and that the U.S. and the world wants to access to cheaper, reliable, cleaner energy. The caucus's goal is to reduce emissions without restricting domestic energy production, taking an all-of-the-above approach to energy policy. Chavez DeRemer is also a member of the Agricultural Committee, which has jurisdiction over conservation policy, forestry, and other critical issues impacting Oregon and the 5th District. DirectLink, Canby and Mount Angel's local member-based cooperative provider of internet and telecommunications services, is aiming to help users stay safe online with a new complimentary cybersecurity product from Cisco, Umbrella Defense. The history of cybersecurity is as long as that of the internet itself, literally. When the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, better known as ARPANET, the earliest precursor of what would become the internet, first came online in the 1970s, it wasn't long before people learned that it could be exploited. Fortunately, the first computer virus was not developed by a criminal or other bad actor, but by Bob Thomas, a computer engineer at the research and development company BBN. In 1971, he wrote a self-replicating piece of code designed to move between computers via ARPANET. He called his creation Creeper, and its only effect on the system it infected was to cause them to print the message, "I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can." Another programmer, Ray Tomlinson, would later gain fame for his development of email, accepted that challenge by writing the world's first antivirus software, Reaper, which was designed to chase and delete Creeper wherever it could be found. Not surprisingly, things have gotten a little more sophisticated since then, supercharged by the pandemic, which saw cybercrime increase by more than 600% worldwide. The annual cost of such attacks is estimated to be $6 trillion per year, a figure equivalent to 1% of the global GDP. The majority of cyber attacks are targeted at small and mid-sized businesses, with more than 2/3 of small businesses in the United States reporting at least one incident between 2018 and 2020. The average organization sees 130 breaches per year. With cybercrime so prevalent and the stakes so high, it's little wonder that cybersecurity is a top priority for internet service providers like DirectLink. Cybersecurity has been an issue as long as people have been using personal computers, and DirectLink takes that very seriously, Director of Marketing Brian Strunk explained. All of our employees go through regular cybersecurity training because there are so many creative ways to exploit weaknesses in networks. Whether it's through social engineering, malware, spyware, ransomware, or other threats as a service provider, these are all things that we deal with and work hard to educate our community about so that they can protect themselves as well. While DirectLink has regularly offered community classes on issues like cybersecurity and how to keep your data and systems safe online, Strunk says the company also wanted to give members tools with which to defend themselves. To that end, DirectLink last year invested in a new cybersecurity solution, Umbrella Defense, a complimentary all-inclusive service for every member with internet service. Umbrella Defense works behind the scenes without slowing down devices to stop subscribers from accidentally visiting known websites that may contain malware, phishing, ransomware, and other threats. In just 1 month shortly after implementation, Umbrella Defense prevented over 300,000 requests from nearly 4,500 different origins from reaching DirectLink members. Most of these blocked sites contained malware. This broad spectrum protection works on computers, smartphones, tablets, and other connected devices and is automatically operational for all users in a location where a DirectLink internet service is activated, including those using the free Wi-Fi connections at the Canby parks. More information about cybersecurity and the ways that DirectLink works to keep its members and their information secure is available on the cooperative's website at directlink.coop.
New Year's. A time for taking stock. A time for self-reflection. A time for change, at least for most of us, but not for DirectLink. You see, while many New Year's resolutions tend to revolve around change, DirectLink's is to stay the same and to continue to provide the same exceptional member experience and quality, reliable service that they've been providing for nearly 120 years. In fact, in 2021 and again in 2022, over 92% of DirectLink subscribers said they would recommend our local communications cooperative services to someone else. That's pretty impressive compared to other internet providers on the West Coast, which average just 70% in customer satisfaction rating. Today, more than 8 out of every 10 DirectLink members have been converted to a fiber connection, the most advanced method of internet data delivery available. This technology positions Canby for the future and supports lightning-fast download and supersonic upload speeds, low latency for online gaming, bandwidth for multiple video streams, and crystal clear voice calls. For more information or to subscribe to our local communications cooperative services, visit www.directlink.coop/internet or give them a call at 503-266-8111. All right, for the Canby Conversation today, for a special Valentine's Day themed interview, we're so delighted to be talking with Vern and Dar Hopper out here in Hope Village. Hi guys, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
You guys have been married for 70 years, coming up on 71, is that right?
That's correct.
Do you think that you're the longest married couple in Canby? Do you know of anyone longer?
I doubt if we're the longest. I don't know. There's 2 others that just met 70 here at the village, but we're a few months ahead of them.
Okay, so you're still the longest tenured here at Hope Village.
Mm-hmm,
So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys meet?
Well, that's a long story.
That's what we figured.
He was raised in Montana, and I'm a native Oregonian.
Montana.
Yeah, and at the end of World War II, it was hard for a teenager to get a job. And I had an
Sounds
uncle.
familiar.
I had an uncle that lived down the road from her, and he got me a job on a dairy farm out of Monitor. And one day he helped her dad haul grain doing harvest. He was going up there, and he says, "Well, just go up there with me." And I went up there, and here's this blonde, blue-eyed gal that was, wow, she was a pretty good looker. And anyway, we went to different schools, and in the summer then, when I was working on that farm, she'd get me a date with her girlfriends because she was going with somebody. And then one time she didn't have a date, and I didn't have a date, and they says, we just as well go out. And that started it.
Dar, what did you think? Do you remember when you first met Vern here?
Oh, yeah, that was way back in when I was still in high school.
Yeah.
But we each went on to college for a year.
Yeah.
Most of our friends, or I shouldn't say most of them, many of our friends were married right out of high school.
Yeah.
But we did each do a year of college, but then
were you dating? You were seeing each other at the time, or just friends?
We really weren't dating during that time.
Later
because
on,
I had another boyfriend in college. He liked to dance.
But then we got together, and she was going to Oregon State, and I was going to college in California. And it was 645 miles and 13 hours driving time between the two campuses.
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
And you didn't have Zoom back then.
No, that was the old crooked highway. So we had to rectify that. And I got down on one knee and said, would you marry me? And she accepted.
How about that?
Yeah, on my 19th birthday, I think it was.
Wow.
And then, of course, right shortly after we were married, then he was drafted. So, anyway,
in Korea?
Korea.
For sure.
Yeah. And of course, I thought I'd stay with my folks. I grew up on the Barlow Road. Went to Oak Lawn School. A lot of people don't even know what Oak Lawn is.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
A little country school, one room, all 8 grades. Yeah. And anyway, then we decided we didn't like to be apart. And of course, they didn't pay me anything, $25 a month, didn't I get? Or is that what you got?
I got 25, you got 65.
Oh, okay. But I was fortunate. I was a stenographer. I mean, I wanted to be a teacher for shorthand and typing and commercial, and so then I was able to get to I worked for the state then before we left as a stenographer, but then I was able to get on at the quartermaster corps down at Camp Roberts, so we were able to survive.
Gotcha. Able to be together. So you went to base and training and all that with him?
No, she worked for quartermaster on the base.
Gotcha.
Because she had the skills to get that job, and I ended up as an operations NCO. So we got to live later on after we got to live off base. So.
Yeah. So you stayed stateside for your service?
Stateside because the education I had, they put me in division faculty as an instructor. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What was that like?
Well, it was different.
Yeah.
You had to train the trainees. And,
Yeah. What did they think of your demand that you had to take on your wife as find some work for her? No, I'm kidding.
That's what blew away his hearing, though.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. From being on base and
105 howitzer.
Yeah. Interesting.
And mine's hereditary, so we're both can't hear. Well, he does okay with the cochlear.
Yeah.
And I can't tell her I love her because she can't hear, so I yell at her.
You guys are doing just fine now. So how long were you in the military? Was it the Army or?
Army, yeah. For 2 years, I was in from 52 to 54.
Okay. And then came back out here, or what happened?
Came back out here and
tried farming,
and then I went to work for the Department of Agriculture, and I worked for that for 31 years.
After 2 years of working with students, with officers, you decided, I'll try vegetables for a while. What did you do for ag?
Well, I was a director of 2 different field offices for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and in the last 15 years I was in the state office for the Department of Agriculture, and fancy title, I was the chief of the administrative division for the state.
Wow.
It's essentially like a COO.
Yeah. Did you work with hops very much, with your last name being Hopper, or?
No, well, I was in the administrative end of it, not actually out in production.
Gotcha.
But in the administrative end for the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah, you must have seen a lot of things change in that industry, the technology and land use and all kinds of stuff.
All the technology,
economy.
Yeah. And the crops like wheat when we were farming then. You got 30 bushel the acre. Now they're getting over 100 bushel the acre, different varieties and fertilizers.
Yeah, the yields.
Tremendous changes in the way things are doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you down then closer to Salem, or have you stayed pretty much in this area?
Oh, well, yeah. She grew up here, and of course I lived here since, well, the folks come out in 42, and then we moved out in 44 from Montana. Yeah. So we've been around here a long time.
Yeah. So while Vern was down at the office and checking yields, what were you up to, Eileen?
Well,
raising 3 kids.
That'll do it.
What did you say?
I want to know what you were up to.
Well, I was going to tell him about, Bremer Corner out there.
Yeah.
That was, my uncle had a dairy, and our farm was 1.5 miles down south of that. We were 3 miles north of Monitor. So I grew up, and I don't know, you might know my sister's Beverly Knutson. Did you know any of the Knutsons? There's a lot of...
I definitely recognize the name. Yeah.
Well, anyway... and my grandmother was within 1 mile, and my mom's folks, so I had relatives all close, and we had always a close family.
She's related to half the county.
I know a few folks like that,
Yeah. And then, of course, like I said, I wanted to be a teacher, and so I got my job at the state in Oregon as a stenographer, and then with the Quartermaster Corps. Well, then we tried farming, and of course we started having a family, so we have 3 sons and 6 grandsons. And
that can be handy on a farm.
And then, of course, with his job, we were trying to count up the other day how many times we moved. Actually, our kids pretty much grew up in the Madras area. And so we've had, all over the state. But anyway, then I started working at the schools when the kids got older, and then fact is I ended up, when we moved back to the valley, I ended up working at Canby High School as administrative secretary, and that's what I retired as in 88, wasn't that it?
She graduated from Canby High.
Oh, I graduated from Canby High in 1949, way back then. Lots of changes.
And it's probably grown significantly, the district has.
This used to be just a little tiny community. You could drive all the way from where our farm into town and might not even need a car. And Barlow Road was only paved on one side, so everybody drove on the pavement. So you had to be really careful of not having a wreck.
Pay attention. Watch out for tractors, probably. So the high school then would have been the original building, yeah? Just with the...
Oh, yeah.
Had, like, the white columns and everything?
Yeah, it was the original building.
The high school. What did it look like back then?
It was the original building. How many was in your graduating class?
Oh, in the class, I think we're 88 or something like that. There were 4 that graduated in the 8th grade from the Oak Lawn. Yeah. But I think
I think that's how big, like, an actual class is now. Like, a science class might have 88 kids in it.
And then our class was a little smaller because North Marion. Yeah. Some of the kids that went to Canby had to go to North Marion about that time too. Mm-hmm.
So you've lived in different places. You wound up back here, and it seems like you kind of chose to come back to this area. Why?
Well, my job brought me back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had places.
Yeah, but my job brought us back to Portland area. The Canby area.
Yeah. And then we tried to live at the coast for a while too, but then with insurance and we had to come over here for so many doctor appointments. So then we decided maybe this was the time to change, and so we moved here in 2005.
Okay, to Hope Village. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think of it?
Well, for us, it's been great, but now over the years with the prices and all that, so who knows?
Yeah. Well, you have a lovely home, and this coffee is fantastic.
You better try my homemade cookies.
I will. As soon as we're off the recording here, I'm going to dig into those for sure.
But we've gone through a lot. Everybody has. You know, there's been, we went through floods and losing our little one and only granddaughter, but we now have a great granddaughter and 2 great grandsons. So see, and 3 wonderful daughters in love. So it just took a while.
Yeah. What helped you through some of those challenging times that you guys have experienced together?
What?
What helped you through some of those?
Our commitment to the Lord, of course. Yeah, it's just, and we've always been as active as possible, and we've always been members of church. I know that isn't always what you need, but you need to be a believer. Yeah. So that's got us through a lot of tough times. So, and still does.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Do you have a church that you go to, or do you have a denomination?
Yeah, we go Community of Hope in Wilsonville.
Oh.
Yeah, Marriage Encounter, we did all that too. Helped. Well, you probably know about what's our kids camp? We've helped with all
Royal
those
Family Kids
Royal Family Kids Camp. Are you familiar with that?
I have heard of it, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we helped with that till we got too old.
How long?
Over
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And they're still going to have camp in spite of all the this business with the pandemic too. I think they're going to be down at Canby Grove, probably. I'm not sure this year if they are or not. Cool. But they have met down there too. Yeah. So
special place in my heart for Canby Grove. That's where I met my wife. We were both counselors there, and that's where we ended up getting married as well.
Good.
Tyler, did you know that the Australian lyrebird can mimic any sound that it hears, even chainsaws?
No, that's super interesting.
Did you know that a baby puffin is called a puffling? Or that baby sea otters can't swim, so their moms wrap them up in pieces of kelp until they learn how to paddle?
Wait. Do you know any trivia that isn't, animal related?
Not really, but here's some stuff you may not know about the Wild Hare Saloon, where Canby goes to eat and have fun.
Okay.
The Wild Hare is one of Canby's longest-running locally owned restaurants. Owners Joan and Darren Moden have been in business for 16 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, heck, you were just a baby back then.
Wait, what?
And they love to give back. They've been members of the Canby Chamber for that long, and they donate over $20,000 to local sports, FFA programs, and civic organizations each year.
Wow, I'm legitimately caught off That's cool.
Yeah. They also support more than 30 jobs in the community through their award-winning staff, some of them as young as 18. Hey, that's older than you are.
Dude, I'm 10 months younger than you.
With the days getting longer and the weather getting warmer, the Canby Wild Hare's expansive outdoor patio is the place to be. Furry friends welcome.
Well, that sounds great. I'm going to go check them out just off of Highway 99E next to the Space Age in Canby at 1656 Beaver Creek Road in Oregon City, or on their website at thewildharesaloon.net.
So speaking of marriage, 70 years, what's your guys' secret?
Commitment to each other and commitment to follow, I guess, our marriage vows. We said, for better or worse, sickness or health or whatever.
Yeah.
And we made a commitment to each other and the Lord that we would make it work. And we have the faith and the trust in each other. And it's just been...
And our parents.
Yeah, and we had the right kind of upbringing. Our parents gave us a lot of heritage that way. And marriage, of course, you've got your up and downs. You have to have that commitment and love for each other, but you have to be able to forgive each other, too, when you have a disagreement, and that's going to happen, as you know.
And even at his age, he's planning a mystery trip for me day after Thanksgiving. He doesn't tell me where we're going.
Not Thanksgiving Day.
I mean, did I say? See, I've got some dementia. But after Valentine's Day.
Okay, keep the mystery romance going. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's going to tell me about that off the podcast. I want to hear the secret.
Okay, and he brings me flowers. He surprised me. There's one of the bouquets he brought a week ago or so you never know. Yeah. And he teases me. And we play cribbage, too. Yeah. Yeah. We have a cribbage tournament going all the time.
Just the two of you? Okay. Who's the better player? Can you tell me, or I don't want to start a fight here?
What? I didn't.
Who's the better player?
Well, he's ahead right now, but overall, I think I'm ahead.
Okay.
Over the years, it's terrible. It's embarrassing. But I got a 5-game lead on her right now.
Okay. You got to take advantage of that. She says she has a little dementia at times. You can take advantage. Oh no, I won this one, Dar. You didn't win that. What are you talking about?
And we also did square dance and round dance too for a number of years.
Square dance,
a great thing.
Yeah, don't still go out to the dance floor.
Well, we can't anymore. But since she broke her neck 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, after breaking my neck. We got rid of our boat, and he got rid of his ATV.
Now we just got each other. We're blessed. We've been so blessed to have both in our 90s and 70 years plus, and we're active as much as we can be.
Absolutely.
And it's just been a wonderful 70 years, that's all.
Yeah. We've been blessed, and we do miss our RV though. After retired, we ended up visiting every state.
Yeah.
And then of course we went to Mexico and Alaska and Hawaii, kind of in between, but no foreign country.
Yeah. What are some of the places that you remember or memories that stand out from that trip? I'm sure you probably saw Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, places like that.
Yeah, well, we snowboarded for about 20 years.
Snowboarding is different.
Yeah, looking at the Olympics.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you know what that is, we spent a lot of winters down south.
Yeah.
And all over, been in all 50 states.
Yeah.
And about half of Canada, been to Newfoundland, and we hosted in ghost towns. We hosted in parks, national parks, as host in the parks, and we did that for several years.
I think the outstanding was when we got to do the
inventory at Humboldt Trading Post.
Humboldt. and we did all the Anasazi baskets and the old Western things, and boy, that was quite a privilege.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been married for a little over 10 years, and I feel like I'm still learning a lot about compromise. Do you feel like that's something that you guys noticed over the years, that you had to learn to change or compromise in different ways?
You have a lot of that.
Yeah.
You have to compromise, and you have to have that compassion and patience for each other too.
Yeah.
When you have to compromise, where do you meet? In the middle, you go to her side or my side or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we decided a lot of things, like before we got married, one checkbook, one account.
Yeah.
She had a church and I had a church. Decided to go to her church. We had lots of things that were decided before we got married.
Yeah.
And of course we've had to decide a lot of things as we've gone along too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's compromise. It's got to be a deep love and a commitment to the Lord and to each other in order to make 70 years. Otherwise, you're not going to do it.
And he's the organized one, and everything has to be done like this, and I'm more laid back, so he's had to make adjustments, and I keep trying to make adjustments.
You'll get it one of these days. It's only been 70 years. Okay, so I'm getting deep love for each other, commitment to each other, to the Lord, and cribbage.
And patience.
And patience. Got it. Okay. Any advice that you would give to younger couples, folks maybe thinking about getting married or who are newlyweds?
They need to discuss these issues beforehand.
Yeah.
And marriage is just not sex. Marriage is a commitment to each other. And I think a lot of these young people need to decide that. We just don't want the physical part of it. You have to have the spiritual part and the love for each other to make it work.
Yeah.
And all these young kids, they need to decide that, talk about that before they even think about getting married.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Darlene?
Yeah, well, I go along with that. And out of their 6 grandsons, 3 are married. And one's engaged. I keep saying, come on, I want to see this ceremony before I die. And, well, they want to buy a place first. So I said they need to prioritize. But I thank the Lord that I am married to him. I mean, I had other opportunities, of course, and even when I said yes, I was a little hesitant, but I prayed about it, and the Lord knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
That's one of those things that has really changed, hasn't it? Where you guys got married so young, you were in college, you didn't have jobs, you didn't know exactly where you were going to live or what you're going to do or how you're going to pay the bills. And that was common back then and very uncommon now. People want everything checked before they kind of make that commitment. But how did you handle that? Was that scary to kind of make that decision back then, not knowing exactly how you were going to pay your bills and what you were going to do?
Well, what I was concerned about, if I chose the right man. That's what I was worrying about. I guess in those days you got married and well, we were from ambitious families. I guess I didn't worry about whether we could get a job. Of course, you didn't get much paid or anything.
Right.
But you worked those things out later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lived on 25-cent macaroni dinners from the PX.
In the commissary.
Wow.
25 cents for a box of macaroni and cheese.
I won't get you much macaroni nowadays. And Vern over here, he never had any doubts about picking the right lady, sounds like, so. No. Well, Vern, Darlene, thank you so much. It's been such a delight to talk to you today. Thanks for sharing your story. Anything else that you'd like to share with folks? Anything else that you'd like to say or share with folks?
No, I don't think so.
Just make sure that you have a deep commitment.
Yeah, I still love her.
And we're friends.
Yes, I can tell.
That's important, too.
That's obvious. Well, happy Valentine's Day to you both, and good luck on your mystery trip coming up. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Yeah, we go and stay in a motel now, 2 nights.
No, we're going to stay in a cabin.
Oh. Hey, we stayed on the cabin on the Mackenzie River. That was a great deal. Do you and your wife like things like that?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Okay, on the Mackenzie River, they have these old cabins. That was last summer, wasn't it? We did that.
Hey, I'm AJ. I'm your local Oddmos franchise owner.
I'm Mike, co-founder of Oddmos.
And we're the hosts of The Odd Pod, a podcast about
life in the pizza industry. We're going to have on some franchisees. We're going to have some different vendors on. We're going to get a snapshot of what goes on behind the scenes in the pizza world.
Don't forget to tell them about the sports.
There's sports.
And the crazy wacky pizza that we have every Wednesday that we create. And we also have a special guest every week as well.
And I'm Gage, Odd Pod's senior sports analyst.
Gage, who gave you that title?
Me.
Oh boy. Find us on Spotify and Apple Music and the Podbean.
Now Hear This Canby is produced by me, Tyler Clausen. Our content director and star reporter is Tyler Frankie. And of course, our show is edited by Cameron Clausen. We also feature the vocal talents of Joy Struby and James Walden. So a round of applause to them. The song that you're hearing right now is Canby by singer-songwriter Olivia Harms, used with her permission. To find more work from her, you can visit her website olivia13.com.
Now Hear This Canby is dedicated to preserving independent local journalism and redefining local news with our fun, fresh, and energetic brand of storytelling. Our sincere thanks to our local sponsors who make this show possible. Please show your appreciation by supporting the small businesses who support us.
The production of Now Hear This Studios, Canby's locally owned, full-service audio, video, and media production company. Our mission is to produce the best content in the universe, and we'd love to help you do it. Find us online at nhtstudios.com.
I will take a motion to adjourn.
I just moved it.
I didn't even ask for it, though.